All right. Thank you so much for making time for this particular program at this hour. This is Newscut. My name is Brian Amwai. We have the latest for you from different parts of the country and also just from here at Media Max, whereby PD is going green. We have those details in this particular broadcast. But first, top stories. On Newscut.
Reduce, reuse, and recycle.
People Daily makes history as Kenya's first fully digital newspaper. The CEO of the Kenyatta Teaching and Referral Hospital is suspended over allegations of insurance corruption.
I need justice. My family needs the justice. Mtoto amelala for 4 good years. Watuambie ukweli.
And Naivasha family seeks justice for their daughter who was murdered 4 years ago. Our sign language interpreter this hour is Walter Asewe. Let's begin. Now, well, congratulations are indeed in order for the People Daily after 32 years of publication. And our environmental reporter, Gitau Wanjiku, now traces the paper's journey as People Daily responds to changing reader demographics, with traditional print readers declining and younger audiences are preferring digital platforms.
For the last 32 years, People Daily newspaper has been setting the standard for the nation, churning out thousands of copies to educate, inform and entertain. The publication's history demonstrates adaptability, launching as a weekly newspaper in 1992 and becoming a daily in 1998 and pioneering a free distribution in year 2004.
At People Daily, we believe small actions lead to monumental changes. As we commit to a greener future, embrace simple steps, reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's time to go green.
And today, according to Media Max Chief Executive Officer Ken Garoya, marks a new journey for the publication.
People Daily, effective tomorrow, will go fully digital. It will go green, meaning we shall only have an e-paper printed digitally.
Garoya says the digital transformation will maintain the publication's commitment to quality, people-oriented journalism while adapting to modern consumption habits.
But we shall still uphold 100% of the ethics of proper journalism.
Consumer habits have changed over time, and our brand of journalism is to produce a form of journalism that responds to people's needs and that listens to them.
The move is also key in addressing deforestation, with PD stopping the printing of thousands of copies every day.
Over 100,000 at its peak. At times we would even do 150,000. So we are, and that is why we are saying, to sustain our environment, we need to stop cutting the trees and focus on growing them.
There have been conversations around the world, the recent one being in Baku, about conservation of the environment. As People Daily, we are not an ivory tower. We listen to the people, and the people are saying, stop cutting trees.
We have the People Daily app, which is currently available on Play Store and Apple Store. It's easily downloadable, doesn't take up too much of your space, and gives you live news. Apart from the e-paper, it gives you live news. You can bookmark, you can share. So we've listened to our consumers and given them an all-rounded news product that moves with you.
For every copy of People Daily you hold, that means a tree was cut down, a move that contributes to deforestation, which have many negative effects, including worsening climate change, making air pollution worse, increasing the risk of pandemics, threatening the creation of medicines, and leading to greater soil erosion.
Content on the environment will be given high priority. We shall also work with organizations that are in the same environment or in the same sector, like Greenbelt movement, to drive awareness of communication and effects of climate change to also local Kenyans, including local communities, and also through education to students in schools.
The leadership also points that the transition will decrease air pollution, minimize water and energy consumption, and cuts down on waste generation.
Production of newspapers in the print model produces a lot of waste in terms of paper. It also pollutes the environment because we have our printing presses use emit fumes that are pollutants. So this is going to have a positive effect in reducing pollution and waste in terms of newspaper and other associated material.
The initiative aligns with United Nations Sustainable Development Goals for sustainable consumption, climate action and ecosystem protection.
Sustainability is the only way to go for businesses, because you run and operate your businesses within society and within people. You must have a purpose as a business that serves the community or the customers and the consumers who consume your product. You must integrate your product into their lives.
And today the publication launches tree growing campaign inspired by Nobel Prize winner Wangari Maathai environmental philosophy.
We're looking at a pillar of environmental sustainability, and that is why we're also embarking on planting over 100,000 trees over the next 3 years. And we shall be starting this off at Kibiku Forest with the Green Belt movement, where we shall plant together with the local community over 1,000 trees tomorrow.
Apart from conserving the environment, the transition will create more jobs as it has expanded from 32 to a 40-page publication.
It protected the newsroom as it is, and it's actually expanding the newsroom and attracting more talent into our space. We never lost any print jobs. We are actually excited that it protected all the jobs we had, and because of its expansion, it is creating more jobs.
Here at the People Daily, we continue to set the standard for the nation and now growing trees instead of cutting them down for sustainability.
At People Daily, we were the first newspaper to go free. We are also proud that we are going to be the first trailblazer as the first digital newspaper in the region, if not Africa.
25 strategy.
Reporting for K24, my name is Gitao Wanjiko.
All right, now the Chief Executive Officer of the Teaching and Referral Hospital, Ahmed Dagane, has been suspended. This follows allegations of insurance corruption involving 287 million shillings. Now, in a letter seen by our news desk, Dagane has now been replaced on an acting capacity by Dr. Isaac Kamau, who has been serving as the Director of Operations. Now, the decision to suspend the CEO followed a resolution by the board chaired by Professor Olive Mugenda, which now calls on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to investigate Dagane as it seeks to streamline operations. Now, the irregular tender awards cases have already been flagged by the EACC, which is actively investigating the Kenya Maritime Authority, while it put on notice public institutions over the same. Dagane is also haunted with not being a medical doctor, an issue that emerged prominently when he was appointed as CEO. Now, Githunguri Member of Parliament Gathoni Wamushomba has launched a call center to offer expectant mothers with a platform to report mistreatment at healthcare facilities. The initiative, unveiled yesterday in Nairobi, is aimed at combating obstetric violence, a growing concern where healthcare providers inflict harm on expectant mothers. Now, the launch comes ahead of the expected amendments to the obstetric violence bill in Parliament. Now, Gertrude Bugay reports.
Reproductive mistreatment at healthcare facilities will now be a matter of the past, This follows the launch of a call center which is now expected to give expectant mothers the much-needed relief during delivery.
A few months ago, it was collected.
The centre, unveiled by Githunguri Member of Parliament Gathoni wa Mushomba, is aimed at combating obstetric violence, a growing concern where healthcare providers inflict harm on expectant mothers.
Women must not be abused anymore as they push their baby out. Yes. Women must not be branded names because of the conditions they hold when they are delivering their babies in the hospitals. Yes. Women must not be allowed to deliver babies on the floor. Yet the government of Kenya is taxing us every day to provide for those facilities. Yes. Women must not be forced to carry basins and scissors and gloves in hospitals because they have carried babies for 9 months. That is enough pain.
Likewise, the centre will collect and document OBV cases to support research, inform future policies and push for change in maternal care. According to Amushomba, this will empower women to seek legal redress and demand better treatment.
We are being told that the Linda Mama aspect has been enshrined in the new SHIF and SHA medical facility. We want to see action. We don't want to see to hear rhetorics. Yes. We want to hear women giving us testimonies that they went in and they came out with their babies without being detained and being followed and being auctioned their property because of medical bills.
The initiative now awaits expected amendments to the obstetric violence bill in Parliament.
We are calling upon the members of Parliament to hurriedly and quickly, even before these 16 days of activism are over, to stop doing public relations and go to Parliament and deliver for us the bill that is going to make sure we have registered less neonatal deaths and less maternity deaths. Yes. That bill is already there. It's a Senate bill. It has been amended on the 8th of October. That bill is now in the hands of the National Assembly.
Gertrude Burgay, K24 TV.
A clinic initiative in Kenya aims to provide healthcare to vulnerable mobile populations such as truck drivers and commercial sex workers. The goal is to combat the spread of disease across borders in Africa.
It's a beehive of activity at this health facility, made of converted shipping containers in the middle of Mlolongo, Kenya, a town on the busy Nairobi-Mombasa highway. It's one of 7 such clinics located in transit towns along the Northern Corridor Highway in Kenya and 50 others across Eastern and Southern Africa. The clinics are run by the non-profit North Star Alliance. They offer healthcare to mobile populations like truck drivers and sex workers and communities that interact with them.
As they move, again, the access to quality healthcare services reduces, and that's why we have to target them and bring those services closer to them so that they are able to actually help in reducing that chain of transmission or cutting off that chain of transmission.
Kenya's Ministry of Health says long-distance truck drivers and sex workers have a high prevalence of HIV and other sexually transmitted diseases. 75-year-old Patrick has been a truck driver for nearly 5 decades. We are not using his real name because he wishes to remain anonymous. Patrick says he tested positive for HIV after a work trip in Botswana. He had trouble accessing his medication in some foreign countries. But now, thanks to the network of North Star Alliance clinics, he is able to get his medications across borders.
Now I can just walk into any of their clinics with my card, and once I show them, they look at it and identify my type of medicine, and they give it to me. If it is 4 or 5, they know my prescription.
Catherine Wanja, a sex worker and peer educator in Mlolongo town, tells VOA that truck drivers are their best clients because they are well sensitized on preventive measures.
Truck drivers have their own families, so we have to use the protection to protect me and the client, to protect his family.
To increase the reach, North Star carries out outreach services in collaboration with the communities. Eunice Mwikali runs a guest house and bar business in the area. She says the partnership between businesses like hers and the health facility has helped educate clients who are mostly truck drivers and sex workers.
For example, we advise them to use condoms, that is for protection. So we advise them to come to North Star because we have linked with them and they're offering free services. And if they're infected, we also tell them if they forgot their drugs to come to North Star, they can refill their drugs at any particular point.
North Star says it provided health services to more than 180,000 patients in the region in 2022, majority being drivers and commercial sex workers.
All right, time to take a short break here on Newscast. We'll be back in a few with more stories.
Follow the champions on the home of football. Watch the latest Man City content exclusively. Full match replays, extended highlights, coaches' interviews.
The target is not to win the Premier League, it's just